All right, so this is a Google Ads introduction. First of all, what are Google Ads? So when you are on Google and I want to search for a dentist near me, as an example, this is what comes up, right? You can see sponsored results, and this is Google Ads. So Google Ads, pay-per-click marketing, search engine marketing, SEM, or PPC, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing, and it's all of these sponsored results here on Google, right? So there's different types of ads, like there's Google Maps ads too. Keep in mind, my ad blocker is off here, so you can see there is sponsored Google ads here. So these are all Google ads, right? And then there's some shopping ads as well, and videos with the YouTube ads and all of that stuff. So why would you run Google ads? First of all, you need to understand who your ideal customers are. So actually, as a business owner or marketing manager, whoever's watching this, put yourself in your ideal client's shoes. And if they are likely to search up your service, right, then you want to make sure that you're running Google ads or running SEO and trying to rank on Google to get some business. So most service-based businesses are great for Google ads. For example, like a dentist. Let's say my teeth need to be cleaned. I'm going to search up dentist near me. Let's say my back hurts. I'm going to search up chiropractor near me for back pain, right? And it can literally be anything. Restaurant near me if I'm hungry, right? So these are all different industries where you would run Google ads. For example, if your business has people who are not even like problem aware or solution aware or anything like that, then probably doesn't make the most sense to Google. You want to do demand generation and pretty much interrupt people's pattern and educate them and try digging into their pain points to see if the product or service that you're selling is a solution to their issue, right? So if that's the case, then I would go with social media ads. Otherwise, most things are on Google ads, most service-based businesses, right? So yeah, Google ads can be super profitable if you know how to run it correctly. Google bills you from every click, right? So that means any impressions that you get, let's say anyone who looks at this and doesn't click, Google doesn't pay you. Only when I click it, and I'm not going to get a dental GG here I'm not going to spend their money. But if I clicked it, they would have paid for my click there. So you only want to be targeting the highest intent keywords possible, right? So dentist near me. If someone searches up free dentist near me, you don't want a Google ad to run with that. Like HBF is a insurance or whatever, free smile assessment, health engine, bigger stuff. RE Dental, complimentary consultation. The issue with this is when I search up free dentist near me, it's like I'm looking for something free. I'm not an ideal client. I'm not someone who's willing to put in money for the service. So if someone searches up like art dentists legit, you don't want to be paying for clicks on something like this because these are not intent keywords. Your ideal customer who has the funds ready to pay you would not be searching this and who's super keen for your service, right? They're searching up dentist near me, best dentist near me, teeth whitening near me, all that sort of stuff. And there's different things you can do on Google Ads that allows you to see whether if those are the highest intent keywords or not, right? And like you don't want to be paying or even showing for search terms like this. So this is a search term, right? Cool. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much the 80-20 of Google Ads. Like you only want to be running it if your ideal clients are actively searching for your services, unless you want to go broad and generate demand and capture a large market share, then you would go for the less intent keywords because you're just getting more people overall who are in like browsing mode or research mode, not in buying mode. Otherwise, you always want to go for these high intent keywords. And then, the Google Ads side is, let's just go back with dentist near me. You can see like this is the headline here. This is the sub headline here. And so pretty much the website with the best copywriting, the Google ad with the best copywriting is going to get the most clicks coming in, right? And then, yeah, you can see you want to make sure that you're verified as well. Some companies don't have a logo or like a name over here, which means they're not verified. So you want to make sure you do advertiser verification. And here are site links here that take up more screen real estate, which is an overall good strategy for Google Ads because the bigger it is on my screen, the more I click. Like you can see Dental Boutique and Health Engine here. They don't have the site links. So Dental GG is the biggest one. So I'm more likely to click that, right? But once you actually get in and click, let's say I clicked on the ad. I'm not going to do that for Dental GG here, but let's say I just click Dental GG over here. You want to make sure that the page that the Google ads are sending to is super high converting, right? As you can see, I wouldn't say this is the highest converting thing ever, but who knows? We want to make sure that there's a clear booking button, a clear call button. But yeah, I don't like this scrolling stuff. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is it's not just like Google ad. It's like what happens after the ad. So the conversion of the website is a huge thing. And then the sales process after getting a lead, or someone calling you, like the skills on the phone will actually determine whether Google ads will be a return on investment for you or not. So the best people call their leads straight away, and they know how to sell on the phone, or they know how to book people in efficiently and effectively. If you're not calling your leads, if you don't know how to speak to people on the phone, yeah, you can get a lot of clicks, even people searching up like super high intent keywords like dentist near me. But if if you're not good on the phones, or if your website sucks, then no one's going to actually become a new client of yours, and no one's going to pay you any money. So it's very important that you have that all down. For most local service-based businesses in Australia, you should be running Google ads. You'll see more videos on this channel about like how to set up Google ads, keywords, search terms, how to do advertiser verification, how to do conversion tracking. You want to make sure that you set up conversion tracking properly. So that is anyone who clicks book now and anyone who clicks on Practica, even though it says here powered by Health Engine, but whatever. Anyone who clicks a phone number. So I'm on my desktop, but if you're on your phone, you want to make sure that every phone call is tracked, right? And you can do that through Google ads. That way you're not guessing where things are coming from. You can actually look at your Google ads dashboard and see, okay, this is how many impressions I got, how many clicks I got, how many conversions I got from those clicks, which would be a lead or a booking or phone call in this case. And then if you know your numbers on like how much your average order value is, what's your retention rate, what's your customer lifetime value to the business, then you can really see the ROI in Google ads. But it's super important that you have conversion tracking set up. So yeah, you'll see more of those videos in the channel, and I hope you enjoy it. Peace. Cool. So in this video, I'm going over how to create a Google Ads account if you haven't already, right? So what we want to do is search up Google Ads on Google, right? And click the first link here. Now that we're in, we need to sign in. Make sure you've hit the right account here. And what we want to do is sign in or start now, right? So let's click sign in. And I don't have any Google ad accounts in this account, so I'm going to go new Google Ads account. And we need to add in our business stuff, right? So let me just do Odin Digital test, right? Let's go odindigital.com.au for the website, right? Click next. Can just delete all of this. This is like all AI generated, right? It's now, you can see Google is wanting us to create our first campaign, and I can't be bothered doing this, and I wouldn't recommend you set it up this way either. So just keep trying to skip when you can. Skip, leave campaign creation, right? Make sure to add in your billing, right? Australia, I'm in Melbourne right now. So let's just go Sydney time, continue. And then you need to put in your card details as well, right? Like there's no way around this. You just have to put it in. So if you have an offer code, go ahead and apply that, but you need to create the payments profile, right? I would say no to here because you don't want a personalized guidance from the Google Ads account strategist, because they're just going to tell you to do some stuff which don't get you results, and you'll end up spending more money and wasting it, right? No need for this, but I'm going to go ahead and put a new payments profile just for the sake of the video. So you can see I added the payments profile. Now I need to add a payment method, right? And you'll get the $20 temporarily deducted from your card, which is usually removed within a week, as you can see. But there's no way to create your Google Ad account without having this payment method. So you'll just have to do it. It's not like Meta where you can do it after, right? You'll need to do this before. Cool. So I'm in, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and click submit. And our account is ready to be created. So click continue. And is your organization an advertising agency? No, because we are a local business, right? Who pays for Google Ads? We do, right? So we pay the Google Ads directly. Unless you actually are doing this under an agency, then you would say no, an agency pays and invoices us. But usually recommend to pay for the ads yourself. Cool. Now we're in. So that's exactly how you make a Google Ads account. All right, in this video, I'm going over how to set up advertiser verification for your Google Ads account so that you can get better results on your Google Ads, right? So what is advertiser verification? Essentially, it allows us to be verified as a Google Ads account user, and we're allowed to put our logo and our company name on the ads, right? If you're not verified, then you can't actually do that. So if I just do a simple search here like dentist near me, right? You can see Dental Capital here are not verified because they don't have a logo and they don't have their company name, right? It just says dentalcapital.com.au. Same with Smile Collective, and looks like all of them here, right? Let's see if we can find more Google ads. So Parker Dental has their logo, therefore they are verified. Let's do chiropractor near me. Yep. So Renewed Chiropractic here aren't verified, whereas Cheltenham Family Chiropractic are because they have the logo. Cool. So, we can see that if you have the logo, you have a lot more authority than not having the logo or the business name, right? Cool. So what we want to do is go ahead and go to billing here and then click advertiser verification. So what we need to do is we need to start these tasks here, as you can see. So we definitely don't plan to run European Union political ads, so skip that one. And we'll need to go ahead and do this, right? But looks like I need to do another verification first to confirm my organization's email and provide the Duns and Bradstreet info, right? And all of this stuff here, right? So let's start this. And theoretically, you would just go ahead and do this. Now, this is a test account, so I don't think this is going to work. But you would just type in your organization's name, right? So I'd put Odin Digital. Then you'd put your address here, right? And then click submit. Duns number is optional, right? But you would just put your business street address here and then click submit. And then you should be good to go. And then you should be able to confirm your organization's email here once that's done. So they may ask you to send over some documents, approve some IDs and things like that. And it's Google. They're very trustworthy. You need to do this to get verified. And then once you're there, this should say that you're verified. And now you're ready to create your Google ad campaigns. So we'll see you in the next video. All right, so in this video, I'm going over how to set up GA4 or Google Analytics, right? So I can just search up GA4 on Google or Google Analytics. And we need to do this one here, right? So now we're on Google Analytics. We need to go to Google Analytics. And make sure we have the right account, right? Cool. So I'm in the right account. We need to hit start measuring and create an account, right? So let's go Odin Digital Test. And then we can just hit next. That's fine. Property name, right? This could be anything. So I'll just do the same as my business name. Make sure we're in Australia. Let's go Melbourne time. Currencies AUD. Over here. So I go next. Business details. Pick an industry, right? I'd go under advertising or marketing or whatever that looks like. Services. Let's just click this one for now. How big is your business? You'd pick however big is your business so that Google Analytics can tailor to exactly what you want, right? And the main objective is to generate leads. If you're an e-commerce brand, you would drive sales, right? And just make sure we're in the right country. and accept. Cool. So next we want to do is hit web here and type in the website, right? So let's go here and then Odin Digital. Create and continue. Cool. Now what we do is we go next. And essentially we would want to set up this Google tag here, right? So what we want to do is copy this tag here and you go to your website builder as an example, tracking code, paste it like this and hit save, right? Make sure to publish it. And then you should see it on Google Analytics. But since this is just a test, it wouldn't work because I'm sending it to a different website, although I clicked Odin Digital here. Cool. So we're in Google Tag Manager, and that's pretty much how it works, right? So again, to set it up, you need to get tagging instructions, set it up here, right? And you can have different streams, but copy it and then paste it on your head website. So some of you guys might have specific types of web builders, different booking softwares. We need to track every conversion. So we'd want to, search up website builder, how to set up, not tag manager, because that was for another video, but Google Analytics like this. So let's say WordPress, how to set up Google Analytics. If you use Elementor, then this is what you'd use, right? There's the guide. Wix, how to set up your Google Analytics. Squarespace. And you want to make sure you go to the support of the actual website builder. So you click this one for Squarespace, right? And you just follow the steps. I'm not going to go through every single one in this video, but it should be pretty easy, right? And the way to find your tag is either through here, right? Or there should be a tag. If I just click home, your measurement ID is probably what it wants, right? So there's lots of integrations that you can use. And this is exactly how to search up your measurement ID, or you could search it up here on the search bar, measurement ID. It should be big and you should be able to copy and paste it. Cool. So how to set it up on Google Ads. Cool. So we want to go to goals and then summary, and then we want to hit leads and click create a conversion action, right? Now, what we want to do is let's go submit lead form, right? And then add conversion actions. We can hit this. Actually, if we go back, we can just edit this because I'm just going to use this page here, right? Just to show we can scan, see what's up, and we can see Google Analytics is here. So let's go done, click save and continue. And then we would create the event here, which would be either, whatever comes here when you do set this up and you do a test, it should come up as either like appointment or new lead, something like that. That's exactly what you want to click. Let's say that's qualified lead here as an example. And let's make this submit lead form. Let's say that's what it is. This is exactly how you'd track it, right? And then click select events. And yeah, we can only use the one qualified lead, save and continue. And then finish. Cool. So that's exactly how you set up Google Analytics to track your conversions on Google Ads. See you in the next one. narrow search. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. All right, in this video, I'm going over how to write ad copy for your Google Ads. So this includes your headlines and descriptions mainly, as well as site links and callouts and all of the other stuff. So we have our keywords here, right? All phrase match, trying to target dental implants and things like that. And here's where Google AI's like algorithms actually work good, right? Because basically Google has all that data on what people are clicking and what people are searching, and it's in Google's best interest to get you great results for Google Ads so that you can spend more money with them so they make more money as a company, right? So a lot of people say like, oh, the Google AI isn't there yet, but I'm telling you, it's like 80% there, and that should get you, 80% of the results. Obviously, if you want to get to 100% of the results, you'll probably have to look into it deeper, maybe use a bit of AI, but this video is just for simplicity purposes, and I just want to get you guys the fastest result and the best result possible. Okay, so what I've done just for the sake of the video is I made this a checkup and clean specific campaign, right? So right now it's all broad keywords and all of that stuff, right? I'm just talking about the ad copy for the sake of the video. So as you can see, this is the URL that it's going to, right? And I can copy and paste this here. Checkup and clean package, $2.99 new patient offer. Perfect. So let's do checkup, and /clean, right? And then we can do Perth, something like that. So that's what it would look like. And you can see that the AI has done really well here. So affordable dental cleaning, clean teeth, healthy you, check clean, confident smile. So if you look here, this is exactly how the ads will look, and they look pretty good, right? I would just go through every one of them individually and just check, in your opinion, if you like them, if you don't like them, if you think your ideal clients are going to like them, etc., and just go from there, because you can just delete this. And if you like hover over it, it should come up with suggestions, right? Based on the website and existing ads. So obviously Google is a multi-billion dollar company, and it's in their best interest to get you the best results so that you can keep spending money on the Google ads so that they can grow their company. So these suggestions are based on data, and they're pretty good suggestions. Like it'll get you 80% of the way. A lot of people say, oh, Google's AI isn't there yet, but it's like 80% there, which should be enough for most of you guys. However, obviously, if you want the extra 20%, then you'll need to do a little bit more work. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going through here. So that's the headlines. And in terms of descriptions, you can see it's come up with some as well. Something that I like to do just to increase the screen real estate, because 80-90% of the clicks that you get come from mobile anyway. So we want to make the ad look as big as possible. So you can see headlines have a maximum of 30 characters and descriptions have a maximum of 90 characters. We want to make sure that we are getting as close to the maximum amount of characters as possible, so it takes up more screen real estate, right? So for this first one here, comprehensive dental checkups and cleans for optimal oral health. It's like 66 out of 90. We can say super affordable, something like that, right? And I'm just making this up on the spot, but you see now we're closer to 90. So I'll go ahead and do all of that. I would also make sure that you add in the business name and logo and get verified, which you see my other video for that. Add as many site links as possible that's relevant, but make sure the pages are optimized and you're getting bookings from them. And we also want to add in callouts, right? So callouts are literally 25 characters, and you can see the callout text is at the end here, right? So you can use AI and ChatGPT to do this. However, you would want to add in like call to actions, just because it takes up extra screen real estate, right? So what I've done here is I've got a ChatGPT window open. I am going to go ahead and copy the headlines here. Keywords. Here are my keywords for my Google Ads campaigns. And then There's headlines too, which I can't really copy. But I'll put in this description. Here are my descriptions for my Google Ads campaigns. And I'm going to copy and paste every single one of them, right? So let's go here, here. Third one. And then fourth one. Generate me 10 callouts that have a maximum of 25 characters each. Cool. This should be instant. Boom, 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 right? You can see how quick that was. And when we go back to callouts, we can just add them like this, right? So add them one by one. Obviously, it's on ChatGPT here, but you can do like gentle dental care like that. Affordable checkups and cleans here, or affordable checkups, and you get the point. I'm going to add all of them for the video, but you can see it's come up here, right? So affordable checkups. It doesn't look like much, but it does do a huge difference in terms of the screen real estate. Cool. So I'm going to apply this. And then the last thing you can do is, first of all, make sure your phone number is here. And then the other thing is structured snippets, which I also like, right? So usually you would go into services, service catalog, and for a dental clinic, you would put like, I do implants here. I would do general checkups and cleans here, teeth whitening here, and you would just add their value, right? So yeah, that's structured snippets, and the rest pretty much, I mean, self-explanatory. Like if you have promotion, then obviously use that again. But the 80-20 is coming from the headline, and then, sorry, the 80-20 is just the headline, right? It's literally just this here. And then the rest of the 20% of the Google Ads is the descriptions, and then, you know, your site links, your callouts, your structured snippets are all 1%ers. So that's how you write high converting ad copy for your Google Ads campaign, and how to do it with the help of AI. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, in this video, I'm going over what are Google Ads daily budgets and how much should you spend in your Google Ads. So as you can see, I'm about to launch a campaign here, test campaign, just for the sake of this video. And you can see that Google's recommending me this average daily budget, which is $64, right? Usually it's much higher than you should actually be doing it, especially from a new account and a new campaign with no previous data on your Google Ads. So what I always recommend is to start off with a minimum of $33 a day if you're in Australia. So that would equal to around $1,000 a month. And I know some of you guys are super keen and you want to get more customers and you want to spend a lot of money. Really depends like what your threshold of risk is. And if you have any previous data, but usually for a new account, I would just suggest starting at $33 a day. That way, you're not overspending. You can monitor the ads. You get a couple clicks, couple conversions a day at most. Nothing crazy, right? Obviously, if you have data already, then use that data to spend more. But as you can see, the recommended daily budget here is just what Google thinks based on other Google accounts and search traffic and clicks and impressions and things like that. But there's no real indicator of how well your campaign will do. And the other thing with budgets is, depending if there's enough search traffic and impressions, it's you spending $200 a day is no different to you spending $33 a day for, what's the math, 6 days, right? Like we're still going to get somewhat of the same result, unless you're targeting a super small, dense area where there's not enough people searching, right? So usually you'd set a custom budget here and go, if your budget, I usually tell people to have a budget for a month and then just divide that by 30 days in the month on average, right? So if it's $1,000, we go 33. If it's $2,000 a month, it'd be like that. If you're spending $3,000 a month, then we'd spend $100 a day, right? And then another thing to note here, let's say you're spending $33 a day. This is what Google thinks the cost per conversion will be. I wouldn't look at this one bit because a conversion can literally mean anything. And then weekly cost here is like on average, how much is it going to cost you? So if I do some math, 33 times 7, yeah, that equals that weekly cost. And yeah, Google will say like, oh, your budget is lower than other people's budget, which may affect performance, right? Try raising it to this. You also need to understand that it's in Google's best interest to get you to spend more money. So in a way, that means they want you to spend as much money and test Google ads. And when you think it's not working, then they have milked you for as much money as possible. So instead, what we want to do is just stay disciplined, keep our budget low, and go with $33 a day usually. And yeah, once we start getting clicks and start getting some proof of concept, then we can start raising the budget. But don't always listen to this. And the other thing as well is Google bills you. There's different ways Google bill you. One is through a threshold, like every $100 you spend, you get billed $100, or it could just be whatever, right? And that could be some days, although you set your budget at $33 a day, it averages to this a week, right? So one day you might spend upwards of $50, and then another day you might spend $15, right? So yeah, I do a daily budget. Don't use the campaign total budget because ideally you want to keep this ongoing, right? Unless you're doing some Black Friday launch or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the budget. So that's it for the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers. Okay, so in this video, I'm going over how to publish Google ad campaigns. So as you can see here, we've done the bidding, we've done the campaign settings, we went through AI Max, we did the keyword and asset generation, we did all the ad groups, and did our budget. So next step here is to hit publish. So you might hit into some errors here. It might say like health, if you're in healthcare, health and safety advertising issues. That's fine as long as it is not to do with addiction services. You should be all good, right? Because what happens is, if there's a red thing here that said like health and personalized safety or whatever, you need to just bypass it by just hitting publish and saying that it's okay, because this is a thing that happens in the US, but not in Australia, right? So if you're in the US, then you need to make sure that you're not using those exact keywords or search terms or ad copying your ads, right? Something else you might hit, it might say here, your ad is affected, or you need to say yes or no if your ad contains Europe political advertising. So you just go to campaign settings and make sure EU political ads, you click this. No, this campaign doesn't have EU political ads, unless it actually does, and then you have to actually go in there, right? So when you go to review here, you just want to double check everything is good. You want to name your campaign, right? So if it was a dental implant campaign, I would go like dental implant leads campaign. And I usually put the date. So like 2nd of March, 2036, something like that, right? Cool. Search leads. In terms of bidding, like you want to start with maximize conversions. However, if the campaign doesn't start spending, then you want to go ahead and change the bid strategy here to clicks, right? Because the thing is, Google is going to try and look for more conversions. But the thing is, if it hasn't had a conversion yet, then it doesn't know what to look for. So you need to make sure that if the campaign isn't spending, like you've left it on for a couple days and it hasn't spent money, we want to change the bidding strategy to maximize clicks. Make sure it's all good. Double check the network, right? I would actually go ahead and turn off partners and display network. Cool. It's just a Google search network in the location that I want in English. Doesn't have EU political ads and no audience segments for now. AI Max, just double check this is exactly what you want. 15 keywords and 1 ad, right? And then the budget, and you're ready to hit publish. So sometimes you may run into more issues. The thing that is good here is Google has a really good, help and contact us unlike Facebook, right? So you want to go quick help here. You would say, make sure that if you can actually read through this and get the help you want when you search, it's fine. Otherwise you click no, this wasn't helpful. And then you can go ahead and leave feedback, right? But you should be able to also set up an expert consultation here, and schedule a call if you really need to. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Just make sure you double check everything. If a campaign doesn't spend, then you just want to, look, and change the bidding strategy to maximize conversions. The other thing here is that Google might not spend your budget because it's still going to take a day or two for it to review your ads and make sure it's all approved so that you can start spending ads. But until then, just wait a bit and you should start spending. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. All right, so in this video, I'm going over how to optimize your Google ad campaigns after you've launched them. So once you launch them, you don't just stop there. You need to make sure you're consistently optimizing it and lowering your cost per conversion, making sure every dollar that you put in gets the maximum efficiency so that you can overall make more profit, right? So as you can see here, optimization is where the money is. Most local businesses judge Google Ads in 2 weeks, kill them, and say, oh, Google Ads didn't work for me. Whereas the winners run a simple weekly optimization routine and let compounding do the work. Because as you spend more money, you'll get more data and make better decisions within your ad account. So pretty much think of this as a checklist you run every week for 30 to 60 minutes, not just random tweaking, right? And only change a few things at a time so you can see what actually moved the needle. So you want to make sure that when you are changing stuff, you want to keep all variables the same, unless there's clear, obvious losers. That way, when you do a test optimization for your Google Ads, you know exactly what you're changing and you know where the issue is, right? So you want to know your targets before you touch anything. So before even doing optimization, you want to target your cost per lead or CPL based on your unit economics. And you want minimum data before making a decision. So, for low volume local campaigns, 100 clicks to 200 clicks or 5 to 10 conversions per element, or keyword / ad, whatever you want to call it, before you make big calls. Because another thing here is volume negates luck and you just not having enough sample size data. So sometimes, you spend $100 on your ads and you're like, oh, the ads didn't work for me. But then when you look deeply, like you spent $100 on your campaign. If you spent, $1 per keyword in that campaign, then none of the keywords itself got enough spend for you to say that it didn't work, right? So it's very important that you get that right. And in the account, you always want to set, the date range to last 7 days or last 14 days before optimizing, right? Because you don't want to count today, especially if it's like midday and it doesn't count. And you want to make results based on, recent data. Obviously, take into account the history as well, but you always, when making optimizations, want to look at the last 7 days or 14 days so you don't lose any more spend. And you want to sort by cost first to fix the biggest leaks. Don't sort it by impression. Don't sort it by, conversions even. Sort it by cost so that you know where you're spending your money. And that's the only thing that matters. Then you can work your way and reverse engineer from there, right? Cool. So next is search terms and negative keywords, which is your biggest fast win, right? So you want to go to campaign, insight and reports, and then search terms, as you can see here. So it would go under here. I'm just using a test account, but you'll see the search terms here. And you want to look at the last 7 to 14 days, right? So that would be like, last 7 days or last 14 days here or last week, right? And you want to sort it by cost. So there'll be a bunch of columns here. And you want to sort it by cost, essentially, because, you can have a lot of people, a lot of impressions and sort it by impressions, sort it by conversions. But at the end of the day, you want to maximize every dollar you put in. So you want to know which search terms are getting the most cost, right? So for each term, if it's super irrelevant, like people asking for jobs, people wanting free, let's say your dentist, free dental service, do it yourself training, or if they're in other cities, and it has spend, then essentially we want to add it as a negative keyword here, right? If it's relevant but never converts after decent spend, we want to add as a negative or lower bids / pause related keyword. And if it did convert, right, and isn't a keyword yet, maybe you used broad match or something like that, then we want to add it as its own exact / phrase match keyword with a tailored ad. Because if you didn't think of this one keyword or search term when you were making the ads, and then all of a sudden you ran some phrase match or broad match terms and the search term converted, you're like, okay, shit, maybe I should run more ads towards that search term. So you would do that if that were the case. Next is the keywords and match types. So at ad group level, we want to kill or pause any keywords that has, spent over your quote unquote test budget with 0 conversions, right? Just get rid of it. We want to also kill and pause keywords that have a terrible click-through rate or CTR versus the ad group average. So when you look at all the other ad groups, you want to make sure that if this one has a super low click-through rate, then you may as well just pause it, right? In terms of consolidation, we want fewer, tighter themes per ad group to keep relevance high. And the default recommendation here is start, such bias towards exact plus phrase match on high intent terms, and only use broad match when you have strong negatives and want more scale, right? So that's just usually how we do things. And then, the ad only works when the right people see it. So, we want to tighten who sees it instead of blaming the platform, as you can see here, right? In terms of the ads, we want to kill losers and keep testing winners. So at the ad level, for each ad group, we want to keep one sort of control responsive search ad and one challenger. So once the challenger has enough impressions, right, and enough people have seen the ad, and we can work out click-through rates and conversion rates. If the click-through rate and conversion rate beat control, then we want to pause control and make the new winner the new control, right? And if it's worse, then we want to kill the challenger and write a new one. And this is exactly how you keep testing ads. So things to test is a different lead offer, for example, like a free quote or same-day service, stronger proof as well. So reviews, years in business, any awards, anything like that you're able to mention. And then the last thing is a different first line / hook in terms of the headline. And that could also be a headline on the ad copy itself or headline in your landing page. And in terms of the principle, you want to iterate creative and copy first before you blow up the whole offer or funnel. And you want a steady cadence of new ads, not one new ad a month, right? High test volume finds winners faster. So again, volume negates luck, right? Cool. So in terms of bids, budgets, and devices at campaign level, we want to increase budget on campaigns hitting or beating target CPL. We want to decrease or cap budgets on campaigns and missing targets, right? And in terms of the device reports, if mobile CPL is much better, which for 80 and 90% of you it is, we want to bid up on the mobile keywords and making sure that we're bidding for more users on mobile, or shift more budget there in general, right? And if desktop is trash for this niche, then we want to bid down or exclude if extreme. There's a world where you can definitely just go pure mobile only, don't even show up, don't even pay for clicks on desktop, right? And we don't change bids strategy every week. We want to give a smart bidding time, so once we have enough conversions, so we can actually make that decision, right? Cool. Next is the location and schedule. So in terms of the location report, we want to find suburbs and postcodes with good CPL and add positive bid adjustments. And in areas with lots of spend and no conversions, we want to reduce bids or exclude. And in terms of time of the day / week, you want to obviously look at when leads are actually coming in. Turn off obviously dead hours, or another thing is when you don't have anyone able to make the phone calls. So if you're doing if you're driving a lot of conversions through phone calls, you want to turn off in the times where your receptionist or whoever takes the calls don't work. Reason being is because a lot of the time, if it's like same day bookings or emergency stuff, like emergency dental, emergency plumbing, whatever it is, you're going to pay for the click, and you're not going to win the business because they're just going to call the person down the road, right? Or you can bid down. So we also want to bid up during peak converting times. For example, for tradies, it's early morning and early evening, right? Because that's where people, let's use the plumber example again. If my tap broke, or, if I need, heating in my water or something, then I will usually do it in the morning, as an example, right? But obviously look at the data and make that decision there. And in terms of 30-day optimization ladder, this is how it looks like. Week 1 to 2 is mostly search term cleanup and killing the obvious losers. Week 3 to 4 is to start scaling winners, budgets and bids, and then tightening locations and pushing new ad tests. And we don't want to judge the channel in 10 days, right? Volume negates luck. You want to make sure that you're spending enough money, and you want to judge your ability to improve it over 30 to 60 days, right? So that's how you optimize Google Ads. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.